Calling the notes, Nicky Grist. Richard Burns was the driver, all the other drivers expected to go fast on day one. Starting low down the order means you get a nice clean road, and Marcus Grönholm made the most of a bad situation and was fourth on stage one. Harry Rofenpera was back in his job as part-time Peugeot driver, but 4 kilometers into stage 2, the right front wheel rammed a rock, breaking the suspension. He managed to pull off the road and out of the rally.
50 mètres, gauche 90, tard encore. 50 mètres, gauche 90, long.
Furious after a brief trip into a field, Delacour put the bit between his teeth. But watch the gear knob.
Allez, 180, tard.
It comes clean off in his hand, but Delacour doesn't even blink. Tommy Mäkinen hadn't looked happy all day. He started stage 4 in 11th, and he finished it down a ravine. Mäkinen and Risto Mäki escaped unhurt from the slippery slide out of the rally.
60.
Richard Burns was within half a second of leader Marcus Grönholm after stage 5, but on stage 6 he lost 5 seconds when he ran into clouds of dust.
Long. 50, 40, so Caleb might have right, long.
Grönholm might have been first, but he wasn't at full speed. He was running in the ruts worn by other cars, tobogganing more than driving. 7 kilometers into stage 6, Petter Solberg's Subaru went up in smoke. It caught fire so fast that there was no time to put it out, only warn other drivers.
Sur gauche 35 en bas, Sornier.
We heard a noise underneath the car, just 100 meters from here, and then it came lots of smoke into the car, and then we thought, this must be bad.
Day 2, and as he feared, running first on the road cost Grönholm almost 2 seconds a kilometre. Instantly, Burns took the lead. Colin McRae was up to second by the end of stage 8, but his tyres took a beating. But with 4 stages down and 4 to go, he was just 2 seconds behind Burns. Freddie Loik started day 2 looking for his best result in over a year. A spin was bad enough, but he also damaged his front left drive shaft, leaving the Mitsubishi down on power and Loik's out of the points. A broken fan put the thermometer on Oriol's Peugeot into the red and the '94 world champion out of the rally. Also out, Delacour, whose engine had blown. McRae was out in front now, but he didn't want to be leading at the end of the day, so Ford started thinking tactics. They had their team strategist, Phil Short, stood near the end of the stage, ready to pass on news of Burns' time. It meant McRae could slow right down and take a time slow enough to drop him safely to second.
I think Carlos is going to have probably the cleanest road, certainly in the first run round tomorrow, and he's been going well today. So, yeah, I think it's not only Richard and Marcus we need to worry about, maybe even more so Carlos.
Colin felt the need to slow down on that last stage to get behind us so that he wasn't running first car, but I'm still feeling pretty confident.
Day 3, and now Burns would find out how much of a handicap it was going to be running first on the road. Up next, McRae, and by stage 16 he was visibly quicker than Burns, and the clock confirmed it. The Scot setting a time almost 8 seconds quicker, and with it earning the lead.
150. Right tightens to 5 minus, opens to 6 over crest. And 6 left, narrows through bumpy bend. Faster. Okay. Into right over crest, 30.
First to really feel the benefit of the cleaning was Marcus Grönholm, determined to keep sights at bay and keep his title hopes alive. He set fastest time on stage 15, but feared for the durability of his tyres. But soon after, he had bigger worries. The world champion's car had again broken.
What can we do?
40, medium left, lost time.
The stages were now clean, but Burns had 2 punctures and was worried about not being able to finish the rally at all. McRae and Grist, though, oozed confidence. Sainz edged to within 7 seconds of Burns after stage 21. But he now had to weigh up the odds, push for second and take the lead in the championship, or stick with third and be happy to sit a point behind series leader Mäkinen. Toshi Arai dug deep and set 4th fastest time on stage 20. He hoped it was enough to keep Freddie Leutz at bay. 7 kilometers remaining and almost 20 seconds to make up. Burns had more than a mountain to climb if he was to stop McRae beating him for a second time in 2 rallies.
Slight crest 50, left max, the long crest, the left max.
But it was too little, too late. Finally, across the line, Colin McRae, the winner again.
He left opens. Okay. Anyway, well done. Well done. Well done, Cal.
Colin, you've just won the toughest rally of the year so far.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, the toughest. It's probably this rally, and Safari would be the other tough one. So it's great feeling and great points for the championship as well.
So a repeat of the result in Argentina 3 weeks ago, and the first time in living memory that 2 Britons finished first and second on 2 consecutive rallies. So in the space of 2 events, McRae has jumped from nowhere to 3rd, and there's just 1 point between the top 2. Gravel, rocks and more rocks. Midway through the season, the World Rally Championship hits the hard stuff. The Acropolis Rally might start as a picture postcard, but the ancient monuments speak the truth. This is one of the oldest but potentially most ruinous rallies in the championship. The terrain has been testing the teams for over 40 years. Based in the mountainous roads of southwest Greece, the classic is staged on 20 special stages, covering a total of 398 kilometers. But stalled at the line, a dreadful start for Tommi Mäkinen on a day when he knew it would be his job to sweep the road clear of gravel. You can see the rocks and stones carpeting the road, rooster tails of dust spouting from each wheel. Mäkinen lost almost a second a kilometre over the first 2 stages. Second off the start, Carlos Sainz, and already the clean line was forming. Keeping on it, though, is like walking the tightrope at 100 kilometres an hour. The man on the move, from no points a month ago to championship challenger today, Colin McRae. Even with a puncture on stage 1, McRae was 4th fastest. Grönholm was running second. But a rock punctured the underneath of the engine. Again, the reigning champion was out of a rally. His tally from the first half of the year, just 4 points.
It seems to be really difficult now. I don't believe how difficult it is. We were now, I think, more than unlucky now.
Minus keep into
Peter Solberg lost time and a brief lead with a gearbox problem, but he'd attacked the stages so hard it begged a question from co-driver Phil Mills.
Only tyres left.
Marco Martin took his first ever stage win on stage 4. And Carlos Sainz was having clutch problems, but was second quickest on the last stage of the day. On the same stage, McRae was quickest by almost 10 seconds over 26 kilometres, deciding that maybe his rally could be won from the front, and so taking the lead. Burns was happy to let his teammates Solberg and Martin get amongst the Fords and try and force them into a mistake. Day 2, and streaking through the valley, Colin McRae. His argument for leading hardly looking convincing. He lost 4 seconds, but then again, no one else really wanted to go. So fast, they were passing. Up next, teammate Carlos Sainz, keeping a distance between himself and McRae in the belief that for the final day, a lower start order would improve his chances of a 4th Greek win. With the road rough and rutted, Burns finally had his chance to make a move. Second fastest on stage 8, and now just 2.5 seconds behind Sainz. The question now, whether to pass Sainz or not. Marco Martin's chance to shine on day 2 ended when he punctured a front tyre and damaged his front suspension. Martin's troubles were to Solberg's advantage. Up to 4th went the Norwegian. Driving the last works Peugeot in the rally, Harry Rofenperra was second quickest on stage 7 after an overnight transmission change. Mäkinen kept playing with the setup of his Mitsubishi, but nothing suited the Finn. Stages 12 and 13 were reruns of earlier ones, but McRae again lost more time. Now all he could do was wait and see what the others were capable of. Sainz was faster than McRae on stage 12, but on stage 13, the Scot was marginally quicker. Burns was on a charge too, now just 5 seconds behind Sainz at the end of the day.
Right, 60, flat right, braking 60, fast right plus cut.
Day 3 and the grand finale to a rally that has so far been all about tactics. First up was Colin McRae, trying to defend a lead on a surface that for the first 2 stages at least benefited the drivers behind. But Sainz chose a wrong tyre and it cost him dearly. Burns was making up time hand over fist to find out exactly how much Subaru hung out a pit board. But right after the board, the Englishman missed his braking point, locking up his wheels and sliding off the road. Nose to the heavens, he floors the accelerator, but the car is too deeply buried in the gravel.
Shit.
Diff low.
No way we're stopping here, man.
Through Solberg's windscreen, you can see Burns' car. But Ford now had to decide whether to order their drivers to hold position. Colin McRae's lead was slipping.
6 left into.
And Sainz relished this chance to show McRae he's still capable of the fight. He was fastest on both 17 and stage 18.
20 flat left.
Burns had got back into the rally, but it went from bad to worse.
Tell me about it. Turn the radio on. Yeah. Okay. Supervision for Richard. The prop's broken on the start line. We're just going slowly through the stage. What do you want us to do?
Richard, stop.
Okay, we're stopping.
We just on the start line of this stage, the prop shaft broke, and if we carried on like that, where it's broken is very near the fuel tank, so we didn't want to risk carrying on. We could maybe have finished the stage, but to then go and do a 40-kilometre stage would have been very dangerous.
Final stage of the rally. The gap between McRae and Sainz just 5.9 seconds. McRae into the stage like a rocket, calmly and efficiently placing his car through the fastest lines, giving it his best, but knowing that that might not be enough. 2 minutes later, Sainz was into the stage and with a shot at his first win in 9 months. But in the car disaster, the engine heaving and coughing, he knew it was all over. What cruel, cruel luck. Just 28 kilometres from a possible record 24th win, Sainz pulls over and out of the Acropolis.
First started in 3-cylinder and then after a while I lost the oil pressure, so has to be I suppose a piston or something.
Solberg could hardly believe his luck as second became his, a career best for Norway's sporting superstar. Rovanperä tried as hard as he could, but in the end had to settle for third. Peugeot happy to just get a finish. Mäkinen finally got it together to win the final stage and take fourth.
6 right.
With Sainz out, Ford flashed a text message to McRae telling him to slow down. He needed to fight no longer. A third victory in a row was his.
I'm getting used to this.
A joy for team boss Malcolm Wilson.
It's difficult enough to win one event, never mind 3 in a row. So I mean, we're delighted and we'll just try and keep the ball rolling as long as we can.
So the winner for the 4th time in Greece and the 3rd rally in a row, Colin McRae, a superb second going to Solberg. McRae's win takes the 95 champion level with Mäkinen in the Drivers' Championship. Sainz and Burns failed to score, but are still in touch. The Safari Rally is one of rallying's toughest tests, a rigorous mix of big game, rough stages and rugged rocks. It's a rally with unique hazards. The stages are open and anything can wander into the path of the oncoming cars. To warn the drivers, each car has its own helicopter to spot traffic. Stretching from the equator to the south of Nairobi over 3 days, the rally covers nearly 3,000 kilometres. There are 12 gruelling stages. McRae said before the rally that his plan was to finish on the podium and not risk everything for a record-breaking 24th career win. But this is Africa, and there are risks everywhere. Overnight rain made the road slippery, and right by the side of the road, a local hazard, a broken school bus.
150, 6 left over crest, and keep left.
Out of sight, Tommy Mäkinen got the fright of his life when a huge bird flew into his windscreen. But more importantly, he was now leading the rally. Third on the road, Carlos Sainz, now 10 months without a win. Sainz is a Safari veteran, and he knows that anything can happen.
We have a buncher.
Midway through the stage, he points to the front right wheel. But even before the car has stopped, co-driver Lewis Moyer unstraps the power wrench, ready to change tyres. Skimming like a stone over the puddle, Burns was on course for a fastest time when his bad luck struck again.
40 flat left. 60.
His suspension broken, Burns was out of the rally and almost certainly out of the championship race. Frustrated by the fragility of his Peugeot, Grönholm wanted to attack, but his co-driver Timo Rautiainen told him to slow down. Grönholm was 6th, but he knew he could do better. McRae was in trouble now. A bolt had sheared off the steering, and out of control, McRae crashed off. But he decided that there was only one way out. Just 200 metres from the stage finish, his wheels pigeon-toed, McRae desperately tried to reach safety, but he never made it. At almost 200 kilometres an hour, Freddie Loix got the shock of his life, lying across the road, Didier Auriol's Peugeot on its side and ablaze. Loix stopped to make sure they were okay. Oriol's teammate Marcus Grönholm soon provided his own fireworks. Again, you see it, he arrived too fast into the dip and got out of shape. Grönholm out of the rally. Mäkinen's lead, a minute 30 from Sainz.
It was excellent, no problems whatsoever. Last stage we take a little bit steady at the end because it was so rocky and rough. I didn't like to push too hard because it's always hard for the car. We can keep going, no problem.
Day 2 and the rains from day 1 had left the stages smothered in a metre of mud. Mäkinen was first into the bath and he took it easy on the year's longest stage. Carlos Sainz started day 2 sensing he could catch Mäkinen, but Sainz was the first megastar in trouble on day 2. For the second rally in a row, his engine showed signs of trouble.
Para derecha, abrirse, derecha acá se cierra. Tú sigue, no pasa nada.
No, pasa algo, Luis. Sí, se ha jodido con la... Something is wrong, Pepper.
He breaks the news to his engineer, Pepper.
Oil pressure.
With Sainz out, Harry Rovanperä moved up to second in the last remaining Peugeot. But twice the Finn fishtailed off the muddied lake into the bushes. Stage 7, this time down into the Rift Valley at Najaru. Solberg tiptoed down the mountain, the drop to the side hundreds of meters down. Fourth was Armin Schwartz in a Skoda. Stage 8, and Tommy Mäkinen skipped over the mud and stones as if they weren't even there. But 10 kilometers into the 60-kilometer stage, Mäkinen hit trouble. A prop shaft feeding power to the wheels broke, but Mäkinen has the luck of the devil and survived to set an amazing third fastest time. Harry Rovanperä in the Peugeot and a master in car control.
300.
Just when he had a chance to catch Rovanperä, Solberg's suspension broke. Day 3, and over the stage's heavy cloud lined the skies, preventing all but Mäkinen's spotter helicopter from flying. A new turbo gave the Finn a real boost. He set a blistering pace, even though this time over Alta Pesi was a lot rougher than day 1. Without a helicopter, Rovanperä backed right off. Hitting a truck or a cow would damage more than just the car. Solberg's Subaru was making horrible noises.